Now let's talk agribusiness as well. The Agribusiness Chamber is also predicting a doomsday for the country's agricultural sector due to the rising cost of production, and wants stakeholders actually to do everything possible to solve this imminent threat. Now, according to the Chamber, their projections are that most farmers are likely to reduce the size of their farms, and in some cases may resort to other economic activities for survival. So what exactly has to be done to avert this danger and also change the fortunes of Ghana's agriculture? Joining me now via Zoom is, of course, Anthony Morrison, who is the CEO of the Chamber. Thank you, sir, for your time here on The Pulse. So why are you predicting this gloomy picture for the agricultural sector?
Well, thank you very much, and very good afternoon to your cherished viewers. We are not actually predicting doom. We are only painting the picture as it is. We have to be sometimes called a spade a spade. The Chamber have been following Ghana's agricultural development and growth for some time now. And we think that situation as it is now does not make it right for our food security and our sustainable development goals to be achieved. So with the current situation that we are facing, what we have to do with to pay double of every item that we produce on production, we think that it is time government and stakeholders sit up and make sure that the only industry that employs majority of Ghanaian population, both direct and indirectly, will not be affected by the current economic hardships, and also as a result of policy non-alignment and government non-committed or not commitments to its own projects.
But what are the factors accounting for what you're predicting? Are there external forces aside from the internal matters that you're pointing to?
Yes, certainly. So we had the global logistic disruption as a result of the COVID pandemic. And as if that wasn't enough, we had also the crisis in the Ukraine and Russia. So this mainly contributes to the major shocks that we are having in the agriculture sector as it stands today. I'm sure you already know that we import almost all our fertilizers except some organic fertilizers that are produced locally. And also when it comes to the food industry, we import probably about 30 to 47% of most of our food items, including frozen chicken, frozen fish, oil, meat, rice, sugar, biscuits, pasta, name it, tomato paste, and several others, milk, water, and many other fruit juice and other alcoholic beverages, and so on and so forth. Now, what we are saying is simple. We are looking at food security. We are looking at what do we consume more as a country. And these are some of the things that also sustain our livestock and aquaculture industry. So we're talking about the rising cost of maize, the rising cost of soya. We're also looking at legumes and other roots and tubers, cassava and yams. So I think that if you take a look at what we paid last year, especially for urea and NPK, prices have gone up, and this year we have to pay double. Last year we were looking at 25 kg, 50 kg of NPK fertilizer that was sold around 180. Now we have to pay about 320 and 340 depending on where you are located in the country. And the same applies to urea, where we are paying between 420 and 445. So I think this is quite on the high. When you come to the area of the crop protection, for instance, glyphosate. Glyphosate was sold 15 cedis last year, but now they have to buy at 38, 42, depending on where you are in the country. Yes, of course, we have seen the astronomical prices of increasing prices of fuel, and you do know that whenever fuel prices are increased, it affects everything across board. So that is also affecting the cost of plowing or land clearing for our farms. So if last year you have done maybe 10 acres as a peasant farmer, you have to look for money to top up to do the same acreage, or otherwise, then whatever you have prepared can only cater for probably other 6 or 5 acreage as you have done last year. And this has the propensity to mitigate against the cost of or the food availability. So food prices will go up, and we're going to see that in the coming days, because farmers are already complaining about the increasing cost of inputs. Cost of labor has also gone up, and we have not even gotten to the harvest season yet. We are now working on planting. So yes,
I was just about talking about fuel as well, because that's a factor that will obviously change everything.
Yes, of course. And one critical thing Ghanaian loves so much, bread. Our bread prices is likely to go up. We do know that both Ukraine and Russia produces over 25 to 30% of the world's wheat. As we know already, we have checked from Turkey and Egypt. Prices have gone up with regards to their wheat prices, and I think that this is the time we need to call in the right policies as a country. First of all, what do we need
that's
to do?
the big question I want to take from you, an answer from you on. What's that best solution, and how soon do we need that policy in place?
Yeah, as soon as possible. We first of all need to look at the local content policy for agriculture production. What it is in there that we need to look at. First, appropriate technology for agriculture productivity. 2, making use of the right agronomic situation, especially with regards to input. We need to support our seed breeders. We need to support our seed multipliers so that they can come up with the best seeds for farmers. Second, the third one would be to have a policy on the organic fertilizer, where indigenous companies and other investors will see the opportunity in the Ghana's organic industry. So, for instance, if government can declare one district in every region as an organic-free district, this will open up the organic industry in Ghana. Now, what do we need to do next? We need to now develop a local content policy across board, from the way we eat, from the way shops stocks their produce. Let me tell you, we are in the situation of geopolitics. And each country is doing what we call the protectionism policies across board. If we can protect what is ours, we can protect what we need to protect. We are going to wake up one day to realize that there is nothing to import from any country, because every country is doing protectionism. You understand? And at the end of the day, that is where we begin to bite ourselves, because there is nothing to eat as a country. So we need to protect what we have. We need to encourage people to make use of local and indigenous materials for production, looking at regenerative agriculture production, looking at making use of other innovative systems, so that we make this industry more sustainable and robust, and making it more robust, meaning that there will be more jobs that will be created, there will be more factories that will be set up because there will be enough raw materials for the factories, and meaning that our livestock and aquaculture industry, which employs more than 30% of the population, will not be suffering. One situation that amuses me is that we are the second largest exporter and producer of cocoa. What happens to our cocoa pods? We can use the cocoa pods for organic fertilization, okay? When we use it to produce organic fertilizer and just introduce some organic nutrients or organic actives into it. Then we have organic fertilizers, okay? In Thailand and Cambodia and other places, they are more advanced. They are using nano organic fertilizers. So we need to be more robust. And secondly, finally, I think that it's high time we use our research institutions. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, we're doing a lot. We have our own West Africa Center for Crop Improvement. They've done a lot of work that needs government support. They need investors and other partners to go there to see what they are doing. So it's time we begin to make use of the materials that are available to us as a country, because that is the only way we can sustain this industry. We need a right thinking leadership. We need a right thinking partnership, and we need to evolve everything we do around the fulcrum of the local content area. Now, we also need to find a way to develop a PPP kind of arrangement between government and also private sector and all that. How do we make sure that we provide some form of synergy? The agribusiness PPP platform could be created in enhancing this. There are several ways we can do this, and I think that as far as we continue to throw the brunt of the Ukraine-Russia situation, the already COVID-19 pandemic disruption, this is the time, because farmers need to produce, factories need to move, and consumers need to eat, and citizens need to feel satisfied. People may argue that there is food. Yes, of course, there is food, but at what cost? Okay, you have to pay more because the food is limited. You have to pay more because there are fewer quantity of the food available on the market. And as I said, food security is all about availability. Food security is all about what? At what quantity is the food available, and also how accessible the food is. So we need to take some of these things into consideration. Take suggestions from the private sector and involve the private sector to making sure that we are able to bring all the innovative ideas and what it takes to develop this country as
great ideas there, Anthony Morrison. Thank you for joining us and giving us the latest on this.